Good morning, Open Heart family. And wow, we are at almost the last day of October. Like John said before, this month has flown by. So happy almost end of October. And I'm glad to be with all of you today on this Heart Stream. All right, my talk title today is Have It Abundantly. And the talk text is John 10:10. The thief does not come except to steal, to kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. Let's just take a deep breath in and out. Our text today comes from the fourth gospel. This gospel is attributed to John, one of the disciples of Jesus, and it is very different from the other three canonical gospels. Matthew has master teacher Jesus as the fulfiller of Old Testament prophecy. So even at the beginning of his ministry, Matthew will tell this story. Now, when Jesus heard that John had been put in prison, he departed to Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came to dwell in Capernaum, which is by the sea, in the regions of Zebulun and Naphtali, that he might fulfill which was spoken by the prophet Isaiah, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sat in darkness have seen a great light, and upon those who sat in the region and the shadow of death, light has dawned. So he takes this Old Testament prophecy and says that by Master Teacher Jesus being in this area, he is fulfilling that. And that, if you go and take a look at Matthew, you will see that Jesus did this to fulfill this. Jesus did this to fulfill this. So that's sort of the Matthew's viewpoint. Even having the genealogy of Jesus begin, so and so begat, to show that Jesus is a part of the Davidic ministry, the Davidic lineage, and therefore qualified, right, to be the Messiah. Luke has Jesus as the magician. He's the healer and the exorcist, constantly showing that he has authority over demons or authority over dark and lower energies. So in Luke, that's where we get that magical birth narrative. There's angels and shepherds and wise men and stars. And, when Jesus is presented at the temple, Anna, the lady there, I've been waiting for the Messiah. And then even Jesus himself in the temple, this elevated young man, this elevated child. And so he's always presented that way. The first miracle in Luke is an exorcism, or he casts a demon out of someone, and then he does healing. And so you'll see that all throughout Luke. Now, Mark is the shortest of the Gospels. They attribute it to Mark as the writer, but taking the stories given to him by the Apostle Peter. And so the Gospel of Mark sort of shortened to the facts. Here's the beginning, this is what happened, and then the end. But when we come to the Gospel of John, there is no birth narrative. It's in the beginning was the Word. He goes way back, right, beyond the divine beginning of Master Teacher Jesus, and takes it to a divine cosmic beginning. And there's not a lot of miracles in the book of John. This book is really the theology and the philosophy of Master Teacher Jesus. The book of John has the 7 I am statements. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door of the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I am the true vine. And then in John we find one of the most powerful philosophical, theological, ontological statements from John 10:30. I and my Father are one. That proclamation of his oneness with the divine got the Pharisees and Sadducees all upset. They were ready to throw rocks at him and stone him, but somehow he got away. So there is a powerful theology at work in this gospel. And so to have it more abundantly is a part of that theological concept, that philosophical way of thinking and seeing and being in this world. So when I talk about life and have it more abundantly, when I take a look at the context of this scripture and this book in the Bible, I see that to me, and what I will present through the rest of our time together, that having life more abundantly is one, the result of living and embodying the truth of our oneness. I and the divine are one. and that the 7 I am statements are roadmaps to doing that. So in the time we have left together, I want to take a look at 3 of the 7 statements for clues to having life and having it more abundantly. Now, what I love about all the 7 statements and the 3 that we'll look at is they begin with I am. And I am is a present tense statement. It is about living in the now. To live life and live it more abundantly, you cannot be stuck in the past or worrying or trying to, create the future. By living in the present moment, we are open to living the life we have and enjoying it now. Maybe because I'm new to this area, but I love the fall. Our tree in the front yard in the spring and summer, she is resplendent in her beautiful green leaves. So gorgeous. I just sent Lily some pictures. I said, look at her now. She is outfitted in her fuchsia leaves, looking so gorgeous wearing her fall outfit. And she will eventually release all those leaves and stand bare, beautiful, in her silver and white glory. But if you and I are so busy, just let me get in the car, let me go here, let me do this, let me go down to the mailbox, we will miss the beauty that is around us. I am right now enjoying the beauty of our tree. Can you right now in this moment even become present to how you're feeling, to what is going on around you, to the gorgeousness of wherever you are watching this at? To be present in this moment is to have life and to have it more abundantly. That awareness, that embodiment of it, that enjoyment of it happens in this present moment. So let's take a look at our 3 I am statements. I am the bread of life, I am the door of the sheep, and I am the light of the world. I am the bread of life. Bread, bread is the sustenance. Every culture has bread or some kind of carb that is the base foundation. It is the foundation and the source of life. And are you and I the bread of life? By living in this I am moment, do we bring sustenance, life, to each and every situation, to every conversation and interaction? As living in the now, as the bread of life, we should be enhancing and increasing all that we touch and everywhere we go. Our energy is not to deplete or to decrease. We are the bread of life, that which gives sustenance, that which sustains, that which helps gird you up, that which helps you make it through. That is what it means to live in the now. Having life more abundantly, being full of every good thing. What are you serving yourselves? I have to even get on myself about sitting and playing on my phone and watching Instagram and TikTok. I have, for my business, I have books to read and trainings to do. But how am I feeding my soul? What is the sustenance that you and I are taking in? Because you are what you eat, and I am what we eat. And so just like, if you eating, I'm going to say chitlins and hog maws and all that stuff, you see the result it's had on our community. And if you're always eating barbecue and fried chicken, that's what's going to be in your system. And when your body needs some vegetables and some lighter meat, it's not going to have that to call upon, right? And so when we are at a place to where we can be the sustenance, what is the food that we are bringing forth? Are we bringing forth the knowledge of our oneness, so we're not going to participate in conversations that are divisive or blaming, and that we understand that even people that we dislike are still the essence of the divine, and so that we bring that meal with us? I am the door of the sheep, or I am the door. The beautiful thing about a door is it lets you in and it lets you out. That the door is the invitation to stand in both worlds. That we are in the world but not of it. We are one with the divine. And that means we supersede the world. We are bigger than this temporal placement that we find ourselves in. That just like John began his gospel in the beginning, just like Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, was the word, that there is a cosmic, a bigger way, and that if we can open that door to a bigger way of being, a more divine way of being, a more spiritual infused way of being, we become a transformative and beneficial presence where we go. We are the inlet, as Ernest Holmes says, we are the inlet and outlet of God. And what this world needs more is a touch of the divine. And it doesn't happen by God, God is not outside of us, but if God was a person outside of us, by God's hands touching things. These are God's hands. Your hands are God's hands. Our words are God's words. And so for this door, this inlet and outlet, this place of the presence, it starts in us and through us. And then our last word, I am the light of the world. Light brings clarity, hope, and clears away the darkness. And when we are in the now, and we are sustenance and filled with those things, our divine knowing, our connection with our Christ consciousness, feeding ourselves songs. I love Ricky Byers and Deborah Pamong, listening to that type of music, feeding my soul. But you know what? Jazz does that for me too, feeding my soul. So we can have a smile on our face. Speaking kindly, I had such an amazing weekend with friends and people. And then I'm able to pour out and give from that overflow of the substance. And then being a door, allowing the divine to flow, to move, and to groove, and then to be that light. This is what we're called to be in every space, to let our conversations, like light, bring clarity, not confusion, to let our interactions engender hope and not despair, and to let our very presence clear away darkness. In this series, John and I have talked about prosperity, money, being full of ourselves, and forgiveness. All of these actions happen in the now. When we are living in the I am energy, the right now finite I am, and in the infinite I am, we are bringing that good to overflowing. We are bringing that life and having that life more abundantly. I end our time together with a goodbye. There is a time and season for everything, and my time of serving this community as the assistant minister has come to an end. I am grateful for the love and support of this community, and I'm not going anywhere. It's just that I am changing as so much around me is changing, and the original thing that brought me here, which is to serve this community in a bigger way. Doors are opening for me to do that. And the promise that I made to Spirit when I came here was, for every door you open, I will walk through boldly. And it's my time now to do that in new and different arenas, even places that I didn't expect to find myself. I am so grateful for the support of John Gilmore. Every woman in ministry wishes they had a male minister who empowered them, who believed in them. And John, I don't have the words to say what a wonderful person you are. And so I'll just say, you're a wonderful person. And so I say my goodbye. Actually, I say my see you later. And I'm just transforming and evolving to being a part of this community in a new way. I love each and every one of you. My family, Gail, Lily, and I, and my mama, send you love. And thank you for all that you have done for us. And you'll see us again. Blessings and namaste.